On tonight's Instant Reaction Show presented by BetMGM, Alabama survives Jordan-Hare Stadium. Ty Simpson is a magician. Alabama is going to the SEC Championship game. We're still not sure what's going to happen with Cal and SMU because SMU still has the ball with a few seconds left, down 3. We don't know who's going to play in the ACC Championship game, Ari. Notre Dame is winning at Stanford. Ohio State broke the streak today. Oklahoma survived. And Lane Kiffin, at this point, has not announced a decision yet, but we think it's coming pretty soon. In fact, maybe it's coming during this show. We talk about it all on a special instant reaction of Andy and Ari on 3 presented by BetMGM. We are presented by BetMGM. We use BetMGM lines and totals. And you can join us by joining BetMGM. If you have not signed up for BetMGM yet, use the bonus code CFB as in college football, CFB, and you'll get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how that works. Download the BetMGM app and sign on using the bonus code CFB. Deposit at least $10 to place your first wager on any game. You'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use the bonus code CFB when you're signing up. So download the app, deposit at least $10, place your first wager, up to $1,500 if your first bet loses. Use the bonus code CFB when you sign up. Make this college football season one for the history books. Make it legendary with BetMGM. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. U.S. promotional offers are not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona. Call 1-800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. Call 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa or 1-800-981-0023 in Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use the bonus code CFB and get your $1,500 first bet offer today. Flag. That's like a roughing the passer. Welcome to a special instant reaction edition of Andy Ari on 3, presented by BetMGM. We are here at the MGM Grand Detroit. We've been at the BetMGM Sportsbook all night since we got back from Ann Arbor. It has been spectacular. We watched an unbelievable Iron Bowl. Auburn, gut-wrenching. Cam Coleman has the ball. They're moving toward the goal line. Punched out. Alabama wins.
I'm going to use some profanity. What a freaking day.
Yes.
What a day, man.
What a day.
I like your plan for the show. Games always matter more than the off season, than the off the field stuff.
Right.
So
which is now really off the field because Ole Miss is not going to the SEC championship game. So Lane Kiffin not deciding about that.
So let's just go right to Alabama-Auburn. We just watched the end of the game. And I got to say, Auburn fans, we've watched you play all year. But I thought that was kind of a microcosm of their season.
Yes.
It looked like they outplayed Alabama for 2.5 quarters. Nobody could hold on to the ball. Every play felt like it was going to be a fumble. And when it wasn't a fumble, it ran out of bounds or they recovered it and then eventually turned into a fumble all the way down to the end of the game. I understand that you probably want to, kind of cleanse your palate going to the offseason. But, if I'm an Auburn fan, I look at that and I go, things aren't as dire as they went.
No, you got to hire a coach. Now, it's been weird for them because they thought they were hiring Jon Sumrall. Now it looks like Jon Sumrall may pick Florida tomorrow. So you don't know what Auburn does. I don't know if they're going to elevate DJ Durkin. Is there another candidate in the mix that we don't know about? Do they reopen it? How does that work? That's the question. But for Alabama,
SMU just missed a field goal.
You escaped. Yes, SMU misses a field goal. Cal's going to win. Duke is going to go to the ACC championship game, and we're going to have a conversation about the open letter Ari wants to write to Jim Phillips after we talk about Auburn and Alabama. For Alabama, Ari, this is a huge one for Kalen DeBoer because these are the games that he's been losing. This is the Oklahoma game this year, the Oklahoma game last year, These are the games that he had to be careful about. He had to find a way to win this one. It was ugly. It didn't always go their way, but Ty Simpson, magician when he needed to be. And don't give me he's great at drawing flags. He's also great at making great throws on 4th and 1 or running for the first down on 4th and 2.
I think magician's a good word.
The refs didn't do that for him.
Ty Simpson has an uncanny ability to pull something out of his ass when his team needs it the most.
David in the chat, flags kept Bama in the game. Flags also kept Auburn in the game.
No, I don't know if I know people watch the game through the lens that they're rooting for, but I don't know how a unbiased person or just a general college football fan can watch that game and not be impressed by what Ty Simpson did out there.
Ty Simpson is going to be one of the favorites for the Heisman Trophy. I don't know if he's going to win. And the thing is, by the way, you got your wish, and I got my wish. Did you see when the Heisman elector email came in last week?
It was no, what?
They're not opening the voting till Saturday.
Oh, okay, good. What was my wish? Both of our wishes?
That they wouldn't open voting until after the games. But now the games won't all be done, but it's going to be Saturday afternoon. So nobody's really going to vote till after the games are all done, which is good. And so Ty Simpson, Julian Sayin, Fernando Mendoza will all be playing on championship weekend.
And let's get this straight. What is your take on regular season award and how conference championship games factor into that? Part of it. I agree.
If you're allowed to vote after the games, the conference title games are over,
it's an extension of the season. So that is a pretty impressive performance from Ty Simpson. Listen, I don't know if I think that Alabama is a team that's going to go win the national title, but when you have a quarterback that gets you what you need every time you're facing a critical down,
literally every time, it
pretty
feels
good
like.
start.
Yeah.
So, I do find it amusing that we kind of meandered around the season of everybody sucks, everybody's good, everybody sucks. Wait, this team's good. And then we just wound up at Alabama, Georgia in the SEC championship game.
But not in the way we thought we'd get there, for sure.
We just eventually got there. But yeah, this game kind of capped off a weekend where there weren't really any shocking upsets, unless you want to consider Texas A&M losing a shocking upset, but they were only a 2.5-point favorite.
Right, and so, Cal beating SMU doesn't feel that shocking to me.
It doesn't feel that shocking.
They did just fire their coach last week. Nick Rolovich is getting interviewed on the sideline at midfield right now.
I do think that you can file that under the bizarre category.
It's going to let's talk about it because, look, the Alabama thing's huge. Big win for Kalen DeBoer.
And Alabama's going to the playoff.
Yeah, Alabama's going to the playoff. Alabama's going to the SEC championship game. Georgia will play Alabama in the SEC championship game. Alabama is in the playoff. They can lose the SEC championship game. I don't think they're going to punish them for that.
Right. If anything, if last year was precedent anyway.
Right.
And maybe we should talk about whether or not there's new committee. They're doing everything else differently this year. Maybe they'll do that differently. Are they going to punish teams that lose their conference championship games? Maybe a talking point for next week. It does seem like a pretty good bet that Alabama will be in even if they lose.
Do you know who else should be very excited right now?
Who?
The James Madison Dukes. Can we talk about why the James Madison Dukes should be excited?
Yes, because if Duke wins the ACC championship game, that would be a 5-loss conference champion. And I think that people live under the assumption that the 4 highest-ranked conference champions that have their spots reserved in the playoff have to come from the power conferences. And that's not necessarily true.
No, it is just the 5 highest-ranked conference champions. That's the rule.
So as a rule of thumb, we've kind of been living under the assumption that the group of 5 representative in the college football playoff would be the winner of the American Conference, which then, coming into the weekend, at least felt like kind of an elimination situation for James Madison. They're not going to take 2 G5 teams.
Yeah.
I know we're already living in the world where the Big 12 might get 2. We're certainly not going to extend that to,
well, guess what?
But now the ACC is inviting a 5-loss team to its, they earned it, man. They
did
it. And if that 5-loss team wins, does that 5-loss team automatically get the bid over James Madison? Also, is it within the realm of possibility, because I am contractually obligated by my payments that come in from Coral Gables to ask this question? If the conference champion is 5-loss Duke, is it possible that James Madison and Miami go, but the winner of the ACC doesn't? That could happen. It's not against the rules.
It is also possible that Miami doesn't go and James Madison does.
Yeah,
along with the American champ.
With the American champ.
Yeah.
Right. I just wanted to clear it up. It's not against the rules. Just because your conference champion doesn't go, that doesn't mean that you can't have an at-large if they take a conference champion from another G5 conference. So that's like banana land out there. Now, I don't know if Duke is going to, but I don't think you can just sit there and say Virginia is going to win.
Virginia's beaten Duke when they played.
Yeah,
right.
But I don't know if I'm going into the
I'm not
Charlotte
assuming
matchup assuming
Virginia,
anything about that.
Virginia looked great, by the way.
Yeah, Virginia took care of business on
against
Saturday
Virginia
night,
Tech,
27-7, and never really sweated
and Virginia
that game.
just beat Duke 34-17 2 weeks ago. So just remember that.
Right. Rematches are weird. The ACC is certainly bizarre. I don't know if I'm going to sit there and pencil in that Duke can't win that game right now. So it is a very interesting thought exercise.
Rodney in the chat. The ACC can override the tiebreaker per Nicole Auerbach. No. Nicole sent a tweet saying they should do it.
It's a good segue.
They can't do it. Ari wants them to do it too.
Tell them what I said before Nicole tweeted that to you.
You said you were going to write an open letter to ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips asking him to change the rules just randomly like conferences did in COVID.
Yeah, like Big Ten changed the rules in the middle of COVID to allow Ohio State to go over to the Big Ten championship over Indiana. Now, let me ask you this.
Yes.
What's Jim Phillips' job?
He's the commissioner of the ACC.
And what are his responsibilities as the commissioner of the ACC?
Make the ACC as prominent as possible, put the ACC teams in the best position to succeed.
Now, this would piss a lot of people off, but what is right for the ACC?
Miami, Virginia in the ACC championship game.
Counselor,
it's not going to happen.
Counselor, I rest my case.
Listen, you just had a never-ending argument
about rules are rules and
rules are rules. But about the Miami Notre Dame thing with a guy who actually agrees with you, but cannot comprehend that the committee isn't going to move Miami ahead of Notre Dame.
People will be amused by this, Andy. I want to tell them a story.
Yeah, go for it.
One of our loyal listeners came to hang out with us tonight while we were watching the games. This man was so upset about Miami being ranked behind Notre Dame and the thought exercise that we both agreed that it's probably not going to happen, that I thought he was going to melt down. He was talking about this for an hour straight. And
I was like, you sound like Ari, dude.
Andy, it was so ruthless and so relentless that he beat the shit out of me to the point where I don't want to discuss it anymore.
So congratulations, Notre Dame fans. Ari's been broken.
I'm not doing it.
He's a broken man.
But you are right in that if I wrote this column, this open letter to Commissioner Jim Phillips to alter who goes to the ACC championship game to adhere to what would be the best teams in our view, that would also be contradictory to my thought process about how the playoff ranking should work.
Right.
Which is the results of the games need to matter. The results of the ACC games led to Duke going to the championship game. And as bad as it is optically for the ACC to have a 5-loss team in their championship game, they did it. They earned it on the field, and they have really stupid tiebreakers, and that's Jim Phillips' decision to visit in the offseason.
Does the ACC commissioner retroactively count the UVA loss to NC State as a conference game, which it wasn't, thus making it Miami versus Duke? Nope. No, they don't.
That comment is just a perfect illustration of how stupid the sport is, by the way.
Unbelievably stupid.
It's not a conference game. But, yeah, so here we are. Duke found a way. We were joking about this 2 weeks ago when it literally happened.
It's so incredible because we were like, it's not going to happen. And it felt like the chances got slimmer and slimmer. The path got slimmer and slimmer because it needed the fine line that had to be trod there was Louisville had to lose to SMU and SMU then had to lose to Cal. It had to happen in that order.
Which happened.
And it happened.
So here we are. Andy, where to next? I think we should go into the latest with Lane.
Yes, the latest with Lane. So we do not have a decision yet, but we suspect it may happen during this show or early in the morning because a lot of the delay, it seems like, has been figuring out whether Alabama was going to win the Iron Bowl and whether Ole Miss was going to be in the SEC championship game or not. Ole Miss is now not going to be in the SEC championship game. So it really comes down to, does Lane Kiffin want to take the LSU job? Ole Miss is probably not going to let him coach if he takes the LSU job. I think the chances of that are pretty slim. So the plan probably is he's going to take the LSU job and he's not going to coach Ole Miss in the playoff.
Well, we had some
unless he changes his mind at the last second.
Some reporting that has been floating around the internet and from On3 that the game that we were watching, the Iron Bowl, could have a deciding factor on this, which I think is a clear indication that he is being pulled, as you predicted earlier in the day, Andy, by his heartstrings and the desire to want to see what he built at Ole Miss through.
But now he doesn't have to worry about the SEC championship game. And is he going to turn down LSU for this? And I don't think he's going to.
Yep. It doesn't look like that he is. So, we have had 10 conversations about Lane Kiffin in the last week. I don't know anything else to really add.
Marty Smith has done yeoman's work today. Can we give a shout out to our man Marty? Because he's been posted up the Ole Miss facility, going live on all the various ESPN platforms like every 5 minutes for the last 14 hours.
Yeah, and it does at this point.
And he's still wearing a suit.
As we're nearing midnight on the East Coast, feel like at some point by noon tomorrow he will be LSU's coach.
It does feel that way.
It feels that way.
It does feel that. Okay, so if we're doing coaching carousel, we think that Lane Kiffin becomes LSU's coach. We think Ole Miss makes a call to Jon Sumrall, but right now Jon Sumrall seems pretty far down the road with Florida.
Right.
Not Auburn, who we thought was going to hire him. So we don't know what Auburn does at that point if Jon Sumrall decides to go to Florida. The other potential suitor for Jon Sumrall that it's not open, but man, if you read KSR right now, what's going to happen with Kentucky? Because Louisville just annihilated Kentucky on Saturday, and it looks really bad. And it doesn't sound like anybody wants to go in the offseason with Mark Stoops coaching. But again, $37 million due within 60 days. I don't know how you do it.
Why don't you inform the audience of what Mark Stoops said tonight, too?
He said, no chance he walks away. 0% chance. And, of course, why would you walk away? Make them pay your ass.
Yeah. I don't know if Kentucky is going to rise up on the pantheon of SEC jobs right now to steal Sumrall away from his suitors. But, I don't know. I guess crazier things have happened.
Well, and then, we kept talking about there are no coordinators, really. It doesn't feel like in this cycle. Will Stein might be the one. Now, he's a Louisville grad. He's a Louisville alum, but he's a Kentucky native. He's also kind of next in line as the next hot coordinator. So,
yeah. I, as somebody who's been with Andy for the past 24 hours, I have seen his phone blowing up perpetually from people in his town. He's the king.
They're not happy.
King of Gainesville, but I am kind of amused in the back of my head of I guess they wouldn't be that pissed, but if they found out that somebody chose the Kentucky job over them,
they go insane.
Even if they didn't want the candidate.
Well, what's interesting to me is the day started, because obviously the Sumrall thing has been trending toward Florida for a couple days now, but the day started with Auburn fans melting down because they couldn't get Jon Sumrall, and Florida fans melting down because they would get Jon Sumrall, which I find hilarious. One group thinks he's the savior. One group thinks he's a bum.
Now, it would be kind of funny, though, if they lost the candidate that they don't want because they had to look themselves in the mirror and realize that somebody would rather coach at Kentucky. Now, that would be quite the emotional pretzel.
I don't think that's going to happen, even though he's a Kentucky alum. But, I mean, crazier stuff's happened.
That would be a pretzel.
And also, who do you go after if you're Auburn?
Yeah.
So, J-Cart, now we're going to have potentially 2 playoff teams without a coach. Both coaches in the American Championship game, we think. Tulane has been announced as the host of the American Championship game. They've not – I was looking at their Twitter feed. They've not announced North Texas or Navy, have they? I think it's North Texas, but if it is Tulane, North Texas, both those coaches are gone as soon as Sumrall makes a decision. Eric Morris has already taken the Oklahoma State job. Now, in that case – whoever wins that game, I would imagine, will be allowed to coach in the playoff by their new team because it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
And their old team would
I just don't understand, and I don't know if it's the new calendar or what, but Lane Kiffin's not the first coach to get hired away, is he?
The first head coach
coach to get hired away
for the playoff. For the playoff.
Yeah.
So, Ari, I asked you this
BCS era
question earlier tonight. Of all the coordinators who got hired as head coaches, and then served it out with the old team throughout the playoff. Only one of them got fired in the middle of the playoff. Who was that coach?
Lane Kiffin.
That was Lane Kiffin. So if you're Ole Miss, you probably imagine it will end badly, so you're probably not going to let him coach.
Yeah. We've been debating, and I think you probably won the argument about whether or not it makes sense to keep him. And I think that the way that the argument is won, and the reason why I lose is because I'm operating under the assumption.
Because everybody agrees with me, including all athletic directors.
I'm operating under the assumption that him staying would make Ole Miss better on the field, and I don't know if that's true. So, with the distractions and all the things that happen too, Andy.
SWC Gunner 581 also points out the Penn State job is also open. I don't think Terry Smith's getting it. So
I do think
who's that going to be?
I wonder if once Lane Kiffin news comes off the board and he just
other dominoes begin to fall. Yes.
That the other dominoes fall in a way that we can start having a more rational conversation about who should be hiring what.
Yeah.
I feel like we've gotten so caught up in where's Lane Kiffin going to go that all the other worthy candidates that are out there that might not be as famous as I've watched people text you about Lincoln Riley and stuff. It's like, let go of all these fantasy coaches that you've only liked because you've heard of them or they did something cool in 2017. And let's start actually having real conversations about accomplished coordinators, accomplished coaches at lower levels maybe that are qualified to make these jumps that might actually turn out to be the best hire of the cycle.
Bob Chesney, I know he's been targeted by UCLA, but I still wonder, is he in the mix for Penn State right now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who Penn State.
He's at James Madison. By the way, also, if Duke wins the ACC, could James Madison be in the playoff with their coach going somewhere else?
Yeah, I don't know, but when you think about how many jobs are open, how much the amount of time we've spent talking about Bob Chesney is not commensurate with how good of a candidate he is. Because we're so consumed by Lane Kiffin drama.
Because Lane Kiffin's more interesting than all these guys.
He is.
That's how
he is more interesting than those guys. But there are 5 jobs open and 1 coach. And unless he can tear off all of his limbs and send one in every direction,
I actually think, given what I've seen from Florida fans in the past 2 days, if Lane Kiffin could send them one arm and one of Lane Kiffin's arms could coach Florida, they'd take it. They're that desperate for Lane Kiffin.
You could do like the Addams Family hand.
Thing, yes.
Yeah.
Thing just holds a play sheet, throws it up when the receiver pops.
Run the damn ball hand.
Yes.
No, thing. Sorry, thing.
Thing, yes. So, also, this happened tonight. Notre Dame is playing right now at Stanford. They're up 28-0, but Jeremiah Love got hurt earlier tonight.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
Are we talking
Here's the injury I'm showing you now. It looks like he got kneed in the ribs.
Okay, so at least it's not leg related.
Right. And remember, Notre Dame doesn't have to play again until the first round of the playoff.
Yeah.
So there is
And they
time.
certainly don't need to put him back in the game tonight.
Yeah.
I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
He's one of the most sensational players in the country and somebody who should be going to New York. So, I'm not very good at this looking at a replay and diagnosing. I thought Marcel Reed blew his knee out, and he didn't even hurt his knee on Friday night. It was his ankle.
I thought you thought it was Achilles.
I thought it was a season-ending injury, and he was back in after one play. So, here's what we'll say. I hope Jeremiah Smith's okay, and I hope Notre Dame gets this win in a big fashion, and we have a fun debate next week.
Well, we might. And look, I don't know who would jump Notre Dame at this point, and I think Alabama winning and Oklahoma surviving. That's another game that was crazy today. That LSU-Oklahoma game came down to the wire.
Well, all the teams that are on the bubble got zero help today.
Right. Michigan didn't win, so that was big. Ohio State broke the streak against Michigan, and that kept the bid thieves away.
Oklahoma, feeling like it was going to lose, had a lot of people salivating, and then they ended up pulling it out. So
and then the Alabama-Auburn thing was interesting, but ultimately Alabama pulls that out. So really, the drama that could have been was averted for the most part.
And I think it's interesting because you and I were anticipating that this 24 hours of football was going to yield some pretty shocking results, and that didn't happen. But I think if you peel back the curtain a little bit and you look at the way that things are shaping out for the playoff, the fact that no teams lost and freed up spots is actually going to make next week more dramatic.
It's going to be interesting because it is going to change some stuff up. First of all, Texas A&M is going to drop. So we got Georgia and Alabama in the SEC championship game. So where does Where does that land? Like if
I did the math here.
Okay.
I did it.
All right, I want to see this.
Based on my calculations as of right now, there are 2 college football playoff spots remaining that aren't spoken for.
No, let's go through who's in then.
Okay. Alabama. Well, sorry. Let's start from the top.
Yes. Ohio State, Indiana. Okay.
Right? Georgia.
Yep.
Ole Miss.
Yes.
Oklahoma.
Yes.
Texas A&M.
Correct. Oregon.
Oregon, 7.
Okay.
ACC champ or Group of 5 champ.
Big 12 champ.
Big 12 champ.
Not ACC.
9.
Yeah.
No, but meaning like
yeah.
the Power 5.
Just the 5 conference champions.
It's still 5.
Okay.
Group of 5 is 9, and then Notre Dame is 10.
Okay.
Not Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is 9. Ari. How long have you been doing this?
Yeah, I need to hold the microphone closer to my face. Sorry, I was doing my best to do both. I saw other. Who are we forgetting? Who's the last team?
We're not forgetting anybody. It's 10.
Okay, I thought I counted out 9. Yeah, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Oregon, Texas Tech, Georgia, Texas A&M, Indiana, Ohio State, ACC champ, G5 champ.
Except maybe not ACC champ, maybe American champ and
random champ.
Yeah,
so that gets us to 10.
Yeah.
And then that means that there are 2 spots left for 6 teams. These are the 6 teams, Andy.
Yep.
Notre Dame, Miami, Alabama, BYU, Vanderbilt, and Texas.
Except not in that order.
No, those are the 6
because
teams.
The committee has Notre Dame, Alabama, BYU, and then we'll see where they rank everybody else.
Yeah. But you have 2 spots for 6 at-larges, and those are the 6 that are.
Because I don't think they're moving BYU. I don't think they're moving Notre Dame or Alabama.
Yeah, what I just put out there wasn't the specific order they're currently ranked. It's the 6 teams that we have to sift through their resumes to figure out who's most worthy of those final 2 spots. Which means that as things stand right now, there are going to be 4 teams that have legitimate cases to be in the playoff that are going to be disappointed on Sunday. And if you actually look back next Sunday. If you look back,
Jim Phillips did not listen to your suggestion. The
not.
ACC has officially announced the title game will be Duke versus Virginia and Charlotte.
But, Andy, going back to what we were talking about, last year's bubble gripes about 9-3 Alabama, 9-3 Ole Miss, and 9-3 South Carolina pale in comparison to the angst that we're going to feel next Sunday as a result of today's results. Yeah. Nothing happened. No spots got freed, which means six teams, 2 spots.
It is North Texas, by the way. North Texas, Tulane. They announced it right after the North Texas win. So it is North Texas, Tulane.
Yeah,
in the American Championship game.
So I want to ask the chat. Tell us what you think. But of those 6 teams, who are the 2 that you would pick? Everybody's got a different 2. I think one of the teams that I would pick based on the way I yell at the microphone for the past.
Is going to pick Notre Dame and Alabama because that's what they've told us.
Yeah. So that means that Miami, Texas, Vanderbilt, and BYU are all going to feel snubbed next Sunday if the way things go.
Now, here's what can change that. BYU, of all of those, is the only one with some control. BYU can beat Texas Tech, and BYU's in.
Yeah. And then that opens up a secondary conversation that might not be a conversation about whether Texas Tech is on the chopping block.
Right, exactly. And that would be a very interesting conversation because that would mean somebody's got to go out of Notre Dame and Alabama. Or not Notre Dame and Alabama because Alabama has control too because if they win the SEC championship game, they're in.
Yeah, you very confidently said that you think that if BYU wins, Texas Tech will get in. And I want you to kind of start thinking through like, if they're head-to-head compared to Notre Dame, what might happen there?
It'll be interesting.
Like, I don't know if it's a possibility. I don't know if it's a certainty.
That is going to be so the BYU and Alabama have the most control over their situations out of these teams. They can win and they're guaranteed a spot. Everybody else is waiting and watching.
And again, we alluded to this at the beginning of the show. We've been operating under the assumption that it's fact that whoever loses conference championship games isn't going to be punished because they weren't last year. But who said that they're not?
Right, because this committee's not acting like the other committees. They've not acted like the other committees the whole time. So I don't know that we should assume anything. Yeah. But I am assuming that because of where they've had Notre Dame, that they're not moving them down.
No 3-loss team made the field last year, right?
No.
So if Alabama loses, though, in the SEC championship game, they will be the first 3-loss team.
Oh, that's not true. Clemson did as an
Clemson,
automatic.
But they were an automatic. That
Yeah.
doesn't count.
Yeah.
There hasn't been an at-large team with 3 losses, regardless of when those losses occurred, to make the field. And there's only been 1 year sample size.
Right.
But operating under the assumption that if Alabama loses the SEC championship that they're in, they would be the first at-large 3-loss team ever.
Correct. But they would be 10-3 and not 9.
They would be 10-3.
And I think that makes a difference. So that is going to be a huge debate, just like all these coaching moves are going to be a debate. This is going to be, I think Tuesday night will be very educational because we want to see where A&M falls. Like, where do you think A&M lands Tuesday night?
6.
Okay.
I think they'll land in front of Oregon.
Behind Ole Miss?
But behind Ole Miss.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is published yet, but my top 10, if I were on the committee, my rankings would be number 1, Ohio State, number 2, Indiana, number 3, Georgia, number 4, Ole Miss, number 5, Texas Tech, number 6, A&M, number 7, Oregon, number 8, Miami, number 9, who am I forgetting?
Uh-oh.
I gotta look at it.
Where's Oregon? Where's Ole Miss?
Yeah, Ole Miss would be 5. I'm getting lost.
Oh, Ari.
Here it is. I got it.
All right.
Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Indiana. Number 3, Georgia. Number 4, Ole Miss. Number 5, Texas Tech. Number 6, A&M. Number 7, Oregon. Number 8, Miami. Number 9, Oklahoma. Number 10, Alabama.
Okay.
Would
So
be my 10.
you would knock Notre Dame out, which the committee's not going to do.
Yeah, based on resume.
Yeah. Yep. No, it's not going to happen. But that's fine. You speak your truth.
That's my truth. Yeah.
I mean, I agree.
As somebody who cares about the game,
I agree with you on the head-to-head thing, but I'm telling you right now, the committee has spoken on this, and they're not backing off.
Yeah.
So we shall see what happens with that. We still wait for Lane Kiffin. We got to talk about some of these other results. You know, we mentioned the Florida Sumrall thing. Florida won. Florida beat Florida State. Nice win. Billy Gonzalez, first win as a head coach. Congratulations to Billy Gonzalez.
Norvell running across the field to shake hands.
Looked miserable.
The most miserable
I have got to
do
do this again next year. And yes, you do, because you are coming back. Florida State, like they announced he was coming back last week, and I don't know, like Florida State can't take that back. I don't think Baylor can take it back.
How do rivalries work, though, Andy, when you win a rivalry game by 19 points, but, like, it's in these circumstances? Like, is Florida happy?
Their fans are really mad because they don't want the coach they're going to hire. So
yeah, but you don't, like, talk shit to your rival after winning like that, right?
Oh, yes, they do.
Okay, you do.
Because they're like, at least it's not your situation.
Yeah, at least we're not as shitty as you.
Yeah.
Because that's what this whole sport's about, right? Schadenfreude.
Exactly. And that's what the Louisville fans are doing. Like, well, I mean, obviously Jeff Brom. Well, we think Jeff Brom's not
It's
going
like
to.
somebody on
Could
Wealth.
Jeff Brom be going to like Penn State or somewhere? I don't know.
No.
Like, again, we don't. The Penn State job is still kind of a mystery here.
Florida making fun of Florida State, though, is kind of like somebody who's picking up a welfare check, pointing and laughing at a homeless person, right?
Probably. I mean, that's highly offensive. The whole scene that you just laid out. But yeah, I think the Florida fans at this point happy to make fun of the one group of people they can make fun of, and that's the one group.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be a crazy next couple of days. So we're still waiting on the Kiffin thing. Do you think he sleeps on it?
I mean, it's
what
midnight.
Is there to sleep on?
It's midnight.
It's not midnight where he is.
Goose down? I'm sure he's got a nice mattress.
Does he do a little hot yoga in the morning?
Yeah.
Before just saying.
But it doesn't sound like we're still deliberating on what we should do. It's how we're going to do it. Right? And that can be complicated.
Yes. But I don't think Ole Miss is deliberating that. Like, I put it out earlier tonight, and obviously the more important poll was our Brett McMurphy put it out. He talked to a bunch of athletic directors this week, and they all said they would not let Lane Kiffin coach in the playoff if he took the LSU job. So Ari thinks he should. I put it out I said Ole Miss fans could respond on Twitter. Now, I don't know if it was all Ole Miss fans, but I'd say the split was about 98 to 2%.
Yeah.
That they do not want him coaching the playoff.
I want to rephrase my position on it. If Lane Kiffin gives you a 10% chance better odds of winning the national title by existing on the sideline, I think you burn everything else to the ground and worry about it after he leaves.
But what if
the entire point?
What if he's the one guy?
Then get him out of there.
When he was a coordinator who got hired to be head coach, who got fired.
Then get him out of there. Like my assumption was that people would like Lane Kiffin to be around, but they clearly don't, and that's what this whole thing's about. So, I told you this. I'm in a pretty expensive fantasy baseball league,
right?
And I had Mike Trout in his prime, and I was in third place. I traded Mike Trout away,
kind of like the Angels,
for 4 or 5 upgrades at other positions to win the league. Now, I didn't get to keep Mike Trout. My team was in shambles the next year, but you get rid of everything and anything in your way to stop you from winning a national title is hard.
Yeah.
And when's the last time Ole Miss was in a position to win the national title, Andy? And they're going to piss down their leg about it because they're afraid that somebody might make a recruiting call in his office there?
He's not going to make a recruiting call in his office. He'll walk down to the locker room and be like, hey, want to come play with me at LSU?
And are those same players going to maybe consider going to LSU after the season's over?
Yes, but their head coach won't be currently recruiting them for another school.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that's a distraction.
I get that it's dicey. I get it. All I'm saying is if he gives you a 10% better chance to win, you eat that stuff. But you're saying that he doesn't, so get rid of him. We agree.
His history speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Now, maybe he's a changed man.
You watched the documentary, didn't you?
I did.
Can I talk about that for 2 minutes?
We can.
Do you think that just because he's taking a new job doesn't mean that he has changed?
He might have changed.
You can change and still want to get a better job.
Sure.
Because I feel like that's a lot of
But there was a lot of Oxford is the place that changed me. I owe a lot to Ole Miss, blah, 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 blah. When in fact, it may have been a little propaganda piece to get what he considered to be a quote unquote bigger job.
That'd be an evil little plan, but a good one.
I mean,
a good one.
Made him look real good.
Yeah. Andy, we were at a game today. You want to talk about that?
We were at a game today. Ohio State broke the streak against Michigan, 27-9. It was tight for most of the first half, but you knew it was coming. And when I knew it was coming, and I wrote a column about this, was late in the first quarter when Michigan has a 2nd and 5. They run a play. There's a hold called on their H-back. So it should be 2nd and 15, except Ohio State declines the penalty and makes it 3rd and 5, which is the ultimate in disrespect because it is basically Ryan Day looking across the sideline at Sharon Moore and saying, you do not have the dudes to get these 5 yards, and everyone in the stadium knows it.
It's humiliating.
And he was right. They gained 1 yard.
It was ballsy to do it, and then after he was right, it was humiliating for Michigan.
And then on 4th and 5, you get the in the bucket throw to Jeremiah Smith, which may or may not have been a fumble out of the end zone because he was bobbling as he crossed.
I'm going to level with you here, Haas. That was a fumble.
They didn't have the angle on it according to the official.
I had the angle
according to Cole Knippel.
ABC had a pretty good angle of it.
Well, the officials reviewed it and said they didn't. So,
but here's the thing about that: whether or not it was may have changed the game in the moment, but
they wouldn't have changed the outcome. It wouldn't have changed the outcome.
Andy, I'm very familiar with things that go on there and how I think I'm in pretty good tune with how Ohio State fans tend to feel.
Absolutely.
Go back in time and think about the past few years and the way that Ohio State has lost this game. I'm going to go through 4 different things.
Okay.
Inability to run the ball themselves. They have been trying for the last 4 years to run the ball, to much of Ohio State fans' dismay.
Right.
Into what might have been the best interior defensive line that we've seen. I think we found out today that we didn't already know that Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham were really good.
We're not walking through that door. Correct.
The Buckeyes outrushed the Wolverines 186-100 in the game. Running back Bo Jackson carried the ball 22 times for 117 yards, and Michigan got outrushed, which continued the streak for the stat that you said.
Yes.
Number 2, the inability to stop Michigan's run. On Saturday, the first offensive play for Michigan was a 36-yard run from running back Jordan Marshall. He finished the game with 61 yards. Now, Marshall's shoulder was banged
up, yeah.
But Michigan was, again, limited in the passing attack, but did not control the ball through bully ball like they had in the past. Mm-hmm. No broken runs, no sucked-out souls. The Wolverines rushed for -8 yards in the entire second half of the game. Number 3, the inability to get its balls to the playmaker.
That's gross, sorry.
To get balls to the playmaker. To get its balls. It's midnight. Both star receivers for Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, had touchdown receptions in this game of 35 yards.
On explosive plays, yes.
Both came into the game banged up and apparently had to do a lot of rehab this week to even be able to play.
Yeah.
Lastly, failing to be tougher. How many plays during the 4-game losing streak did Michigan suck the life out of Ohio State physically? And I want to point you to one drive, and I haven't read your column yet, but you might have written about this. Saturday,
20-play drive.
Ohio State went on a 20-play, 81-yard touchdown drive where it ran the ball down the Wolverines' throat. The drive culminated in a field goal that expanded the lead to a 3-possession game late in the game. But they beat Michigan on that final drive the way that Michigan has beaten Ohio State the last 4 years.
Yes.
And I want to say that whatever narrative you have or whatever thought you have about Ryan Day, Ohio State, their toughness, their ability to beat their rival, their ability to win on the road, or their ability to win a national championship, when you think about every single negative thing that you could have said about Ryan Day a year ago today,
right?
Every single one of them has been disproven.
Yes.
They've won a national title. They can win big games. They've won 16 games in a row. Of those 16 games, 7 came against ranked opponents. Now, that certainly helps when you win 4 in a row in the playoff and win the national title. And then you go on the road and beat the crap out of your rival. Finish the season 12-0, go into the Big Ten championship game for the first time since 2020.
And that's going to be a hell of a game, Ohio State, Indiana.
It's going to be the best game of the weekend next week.
Excited to see that game.
But things are pretty good in Columbus right now.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, elsewhere in the Big Ten, Oregon beats Washington on the road, 26-14. Huge win for the Ducks. That's a big rivalry game. Easy probably in the right word, but it felt like they were very much in control the entire time.
Never felt like they were going to lose for a second. Yeah. And that's a rivalry game that's been tricky for them. Like back in and Washington had been.
Well, you go 2 years ago, they played 2 classic games, and Washington won them both.
Right. And those classic games, if I remember correctly, in both of them, Dan Lanning went for 4th downs late in games or in critical.
Well, that was the first meeting 2 years ago. The second one, Washington ran the ball down Oregon's throat at the end, and Dan Lanning said basically, hey, we got to be more physical. Definitely the more physical team today.
Yeah. Oregon now has finished the regular season 11-1. Their best win of the season against USC. Their only loss of the season, 10-point loss at home to Indiana. They don't have any sexy wins, which is part of the reason why they're flying under the radar a little bit, but also very reasonably good schedule.
Ari, Ducks fly together.
They do.
Quack.
Quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth. I've got the theory. Here's my theory about Oregon. Last year, you go through the entire season. You're the apple of everybody's eye. You're quacking all over the place. Yep. You're undefeated Big Ten champions.
And then they quacked all over themselves in the Rose Bowl.
And then they got quacked on in the Rose Bowl. Yeah. Maybe this is the inverse of last year.
I've been thinking this since watching the USC game. I feel like they are rounding into form at exactly the right time. They're getting people back healthy. They now have because they're not playing in the Big Ten championship game. So that when next we see them, it'll be December 19th or 18th or 19th, whatever the Friday and the Saturday are. It'll be one of those days.
And they're going to
I think they'll be healthy.
They're going to get matched up maybe with like an Alabama or an Ole Miss or an A&M or something, and it'll be very interesting to see them. They've got really good players, and it always comes back down to that.
Well, and that's the thing. You've asked me multiple times today, if Ohio State doesn't win the national title, who does? And both times I have answered Oregon.
I'd love to hear your opinion on that, chat. We've been asking everybody that. We don't know, but Oregon seems like a pretty good play to me.
Yeah. All right, chat. This is Ari's question. I want all of you to drop the answer into the chat. If Ohio State isn't the national champion, who is? All answers will be accepted at this point.
I got JMU winning it all.
All right. Wyatt has JMU.
Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Oregon,
Indiana,
Texas
Georgia.
Tech. So basically every team in the playoff, which makes it fun.
That's what we want in the playoff. We don't want it to be just the same 2 or 3 teams. Now, here's the thing. It is, though, because it's basically this one team versus the field. All right.
Who are you taking?
Yeah. You're answering Ari's question, chat. Now I want you to answer Andy's question. Are you taking for the national title Ohio State or the field? You can choose one of the two. Who you got?
Dun, 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 dun. Virginia.
Dun, hey, they could be in the playoff.
Dun, 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 dun.
We got it, the field. Ohio State, field.
Mostly the field.
A lot of fields.
Ohio State's coming in.
Lane Kiffin added to his Instagram story.
Oh,
let's see what we got.
It's a highlight reel.
It's a highlight reel.
When did he just do that? Right now?
No, it was yesterday.
Oh.
Stupid Instagram. You're supposed to let me know immediately when he does it, not yesterday.
I thought that happened right now. Andy.
I'm seeing a lot of the field here.
What's your answer?
I say Ohio State, but if it's the field, that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
I think it's Ohio State. That would be my bet. Ohio State was like plus 175 at BetMGM to win the championship.
Oh, Producer River put a poll in the chat.
Yeah,
132 votes. The field is at 64% right now.
Okay, now let's do this game. I'm going to play another game with you.
All right,
getting delirious now. We've been doing this for about 45 minutes. It's past midnight. Daddy's tired, but I'm going to have some fun with you.
All right, let's go.
I'm going to go to the CFP rankings.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you if this team is good enough to win the national title, and you tell me yes or no.
Okay.
Ohio State.
Yes.
Indiana.
Yes.
A&M.
Yes.
Georgia.
Yes.
Texas Tech.
Yes.
Oregon.
Yes.
Ole Miss.
Yes.
Oklahoma.
No.
Notre Dame.
Maybe. Yes.
You got to say it with
yes.
your chest.
Yes.
Notre Dame, yes.
Yes.
Is a yes.
Yes.
Alabama.
Yes.
BYU.
No.
Miami.
No.
You sack of shit.
I knew it. I knew where we were headed.
That's wild.
You think Miami can win 4 games in a row in this scenario?
I don't know.
I don't.
I was setting you up for that. I had the punchline the whole time.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of yeses.
It is a lot of yeses, and I'm excited about that. That pumps me up.
You didn't even let me get the Vandy.
No.
Utah.
No.
Texas.
No. They lost to Florida.
He gave you one of these before the answer.
They lost to Florida. I'm sorry. That was a bad voice crack right there.
Yeah, and I think that's it. Arizona.
No.
But a lot of yeses, though. I think that illustrates the point. And
yes.
I don't know if we would have been there. Here's the thing. All the teams that got yeses, I think, are unquestionably worse than Ohio State. But they're not perfect. They can lose.
Yeah.
So if they lose, and then the field gets wide open, it's like if you remove Ohio State from the equation,
then it becomes
a
free-for-all. Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
Which reminds me of the NFL playoffs a little bit.
Well, and the thing is, Ohio State's going to come in as the prohibitive favorite, but we thought Oregon was the prohibitive favorite last year. A lot can change as teams get healthy or have an extended break or have a bye and have a long break and don't play for a while, and maybe they get rusty. That's what happened to Oregon last year. A lot can change.
You know what's interesting about championship weekend, though? Ohio State and Indiana both are coming into the Big Ten championship game running on all cylinders. And I think that it's a highly compelling matchup because we still are convinced that Indiana is a very good team, but we're not 100% convinced that they're Ohio State good. But let me ask you this.
John is a BYU fan, paid $9.99 for this, so we'll read this one. Just to be clear, if Georgia loses twice to Bama, they are out of the playoffs, right? Those are the rules everybody seems to apply to BYU. Okay, well, Georgia would still have a win over a playoff team, right? Ole Miss, how many wins against playoff teams would BYU have? Oh, yeah, 0.
When you're having playoff debates, you can't just take one aspect of the conversation, apply it to your head-to-head, and then forget about the rest of the context.
Yeah.
And that's what people – and I'm not picking on him.
They have the Utah win, but the Ole Miss win for Georgia is better than the Utah win for BYU.
I always see this
according
happening.
To the committee.
There's a long debate in the playoff context that includes an entire resume. And you can take bits of certain resumes and apply them to yours, and yours comes out better. But in the entire picture, when you zoom out, it's a disingenuous discussion. And that's what that was.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
Thanks for the $10.
No, but Andy, I was going to say, though, Ohio State and Indiana are both coming into their conference championship games humming.
Yes.
And it's compelling because Ohio State and Indiana, Ohio State is the juggernaut. Indiana, we believe, is really, really good. But are we sure they're Ohio State good? We're going to find out on Saturday.
Right.
But if you go look at the matchups of all the other conference championship games, how many of the teams can you say are actually humming right now? Is Georgia humming after what we saw the other night?
No, and they just lost their starting center.
Is Alabama humming?
Absolutely not.
Is Duke humming?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
they look good against Wake Forest.
Yeah, they're humming.
No, I would say Ohio State is humming.
Texas Tech is humming, and Indiana's humming, and that's
Indiana,
it.
Yeah. Oregon's humming now.
But Oregon's not playing in conference championship weekend.
Yeah, but they're humming. Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be an interesting Saturday because
the national anthem.
I don't know,
humming.
man. Texas Tech is humming.
Texas Tech is definitely humming.
Yeah. They just beat West Virginia by like 50.
Yeah, that was funny. We were in the press box at Ohio State, and somebody's like, just watch Rich Rod have something for him. And like 2 minutes into the game, it's like, nope,
14-0.
absolutely not.
49-0. That was the easiest bet of the Saturday, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Texas Tech minus 24. Yeah, so we have Pete Thamel on the TV over here in the sports book talking about Lane Kiffin. And guess what? We got you beat, Pete. We're talking about it right here. So,
yeah. The decision on the future is imminent. It's been imminent for hours.
Yeah.
Did they finally let Marty go home? Is that what this means? Is Pete now taking over because they finally let Marty go home?
Do you think Pete Thamel uses those glasses for fashion or for use?
Oh no, Pete and I are the same age. He needs them to read. I can tell you that right now.
Okay, because you wear them for fashion and need.
I don't wear them for fashion. I wear them when I because my vision is bad, but also I need reading glasses when I wear my contacts. So, like, people watching the show, if I'm not wearing glasses, you're now watching me squint very hard when I'm trying to read a stat because I can barely read anything without reading glasses.
Andy,
now. I'm old.
Wanted to take 5 minutes, and I wanted to acknowledge Vanderbilt.
Yes, let's talk Vandy. Vandy thumped Tennessee in Neyland today.
That was a thumper in Knoxville.
Yes, Diego Pavia is awesome. I think Diego Pavia is going to land on Heisman ballots in the top 3. I don't know. I think the guys that are playing next weekend probably have a better chance of being number 1 on those ballots, but I think Diego Pavia is going to be on a lot of ballots.
Going into Knoxville and winning 45-24 to get to a 10-win season in the SEC may not be enough for them to make it into the college football playoff, but shit, if it's not an impressive year,
it's unbelievable.
They can be proud of.
It's unbelievable, and Clark Lee is staying, and so we'll see Clark Lee without Diego Pavia because Diego Pavia said he's done after this year, even though he could potentially sue for another year.
I'd do it if I were him. Get back to
stay
Heisman.
As long as you can. That's my advice for everybody with college.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his prospects are for being in the pros, but I just I want it. Clark Lee has been on the show. I think it's really cool that a lot of the coaches who have done good things at places that aren't been considered destination jobs in the past have retained their coaches.
Yeah.
It's made it more dramatic for the college carousel. But at the same time, too, it's like cool for Mizzou for keeping Eli Drinkwitz. Cool for Vandy for keeping
Clark Lee
in the fold. Cool for SMU, who, by the way,
Lashley. They're not going to make the playoff this year. They were pretty close. If that field goal goes in, they go to overtime, and they still have a chance at the ACC title.
Yeah,
game.
But Lashley is a great coach. No question. He's locked up. I mean, it's really cool to see some of these places that are, we used to think we're in the middle of the food chain somewhere, actually gobbling up these big-time coaches.
Yep.
And in Vanderbilt, I just wanted to take a minute to acknowledge you. That said, good segue into the Heisman Trophy discussion because we're at this time of year right now. We don't really do Heisman stuff much. But right now, putting you on the spot, who is your top 3 for the Heisman Trophy balloting?
Ty Simpson, Fernando. See, this is my problem. Fernando Mendoza, Julian Sayin, and Diego Pavia I feel like are right together. I have Ty Simpson 1, not by a ton. So like all 4 of those, I want to find a spot for, but I don't know who to drop out.
Who's the 4th one?
It's Ty Simpson, Fernando Mendoza, Julian Sayin, Diego Pavia.
Yeah, and then I think there should be a 5th one. I think Jeremiah Love should be there too. And I wonder if the players who aren't playing next weekend are at a disadvantage. Jeremiah Love is obviously not.
Do you think that's your show? Those 5?
I think those were the 5.
Yeah, I think those 5 may go to New York.
Yeah,
if I had to guess,
I think those were the 5. And I wonder if there is a built-in advantage for Sayin and Mendoza playing each other.
Right.
Now, Ty Simpson is also playing.
Now, Gunnar Stockton's going to get some votes, but he's not going to be in the mix to win it.
It feels like
these other guys are.
Big Ten championship game almost feels like a Heisman Trophy.
Well, that's the thing. We can handicap it all we want now, but if somebody has a just otherworldly game next week, they're going to win.
Yeah.
It'll be the last thing everybody sees before they vote.
Yeah.
So Fernando Mendoza has a classic game, balls out, beats Ohio State. He's winning it.
It's just hard to imagine somebody who's not playing next weekend winning it because people have recency bias.
I think that puts Diego Pavia at a serious disadvantage. Because,
and same with Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, exactly. So it's probably Ty Simpson, Julian Sayin, Fernando Mendoza, whoever has the best game out of those three probably ends up winning it.
Yeah. Jacob Rodriguez is a really, really good player. I just don't know if we're ever going to get to a point where somebody who plays
I love that they're using him on the goal line as a wildcat quarterback.
I mean, they should to try to get him some sort of moment because he doesn't play the right position, man. That's just the way it is. So,
yeah, I would prefer if we as an electorate did consider every position. I mean, the first Heisman vote I ever cast, I had Ndamukong Suh number 1 because he was the best player in the country that year.
How often do you feel like you have defensive players in your top 5?
Not that often.
You have to be an
Will
absolute...
Anderson was.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good. I think that was a good vote.
Yeah. But, I mean, being real here, as much as I love linemen, the quarterback has the ball every play. The quarterback affects the game every play. So, of course, they're going to have outsized representation in the Heisman vote.
Yeah.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited about these games next week because I do think they are going to define the Heisman race. And I'm so glad they're not opening the balloting until next Saturday.
Yeah. And I can't wait to get to Nashville with you, Andy. Did we miss anything?
Clemson beat South Carolina in a game I'm sure nobody enjoyed watching.
Yeah.
This is just like the Florida State conversation. Like, you get to make fun of your rival. At least you're not in there. At least they're not. Wait, no. At least you are not in their situation. But I don't know that it's anything you're that excited about because the season's just not been what you wanted.
Other things to acknowledge: USC was losing to UCLA 10-7 at halftime. Outscored the Bruins by 22 in the second half. 22-0, 129-10.
Finish for the Trojans.
Tulane closed it out, as you guys know. And then on Friday, obviously Texas.
Yep.
We had a show last night talking about that. Ole Miss, you were caught up here. So
all right.
Yeah.
I guess Lane's not going to decide tonight, so we can go to bed, right?
I guess.
Everybody go to bed. We'll set, like, your push alerts might be your alarm. It might be our alarm.
What time are you setting your alarm for the morning?
I'm just going to tell Pete Nakos to call me.
Okay.
Call me and wake me up.
Okay.
That's Pete Nakos will be my alarm clock.
What time should I set my alarm?
You should also set your alarm for Pete Nakos. Pete Nakos o'clock.
Or I'll just leave it on, and then you it'll be a game of telephone. He calls you, you call me.
That works. It'll probably end up banging on your door because you probably won't plug your phone in tonight, and it'll die.
I mean, I would like to get some sleep.
Ari on road trips is Johnny Manziel at the Manning Passing Academy.
Yeah.
He just lets his phone die, and we never see him again.
Yeah. At the Senior Bowl, Andy had to bang on my door at 5:15 in the morning, and I was
very glad it was your door because if it hadn't been, I might have gotten arrested.
I was literally in REM. But yeah, it was a really awesome day, and thank you to the BetMGM.
Oh yeah, the MGM Grand Detroit
brand
has been the best host. Just incredible people here. If you get a chance, stay at this hotel. It's awesome. The sports book is so much fun. The rooms were incredible.
Tell them about the shower.
I think I told them on a previous
show.
But so I'm taking a shower in my room here at the MGM Grand Detroit, and I was like, "What's that sound? Did I change my phone ringtone? I don't remember having soothing spa sounds as my phone ringtone." And then I realized, no. My shower is playing me soothing spa music. I've never seen that before. And
wild.
I got to say, it's a nice touch. So,
and I don't have it in my room. I can't figure out how to turn it on, but if you know.
I'm sure there's a switch somewhere.
If you find the switch, just
I'll let you know.
Because spa music, by the way.
Underrated?
I think
you big Enya fan?
Are you a spa person?
Sail away, sail away, sail away. No.
I like spas. I like getting massages. I like using the steam in the sauna. I like doing all that stuff. Spa music is ultimate relaxation, and I think that people should listen to it before they go to bed.
It's not bad. I like the pink noise, the white noise, the brown noise, the pink noise.
I don't know what that one is.
It's just going. It's the best thing to sleep to.
Wild. It's electric, dude.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
We'll talk to you when Lane Kiffin makes a decision.